Hello, all you goblins and ghouls. Welcome to the Halloween edition of TLR, the Ludicrous Report. As always, Issa and Joey here. Issa always going above and beyond for our streams. Issa, how are you? What's going on? Happy Halloween.
I'm good. Happy Halloween. I'm dressed as your cat today.
We just talked about this off camera. I
Yeah.
died laughing. I didn't even put it together, and it makes me happy.
I'm glad. I figured it will pop you. Not Catwoman. I am Joey's cat. Thank you very much.
See, I don't have a costume, but I'll show you my shirt today. I thought
Your
this
shirt is priceless.
It's all like you see, like Chucky in there, and they're watching rom-coms. You've got man.
Yeah, you have Pennywise, Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, Freddy Krueger, and Chucky in the background.
Chucky's
And they're
in the
watching
background.
romantic comedies. It's hilarious. You got the classic ones there. I will say you would have gotten extra points if you had Ghostface, but Ghostface, some people do not put him in the Hall of Fame of slashers.
Yeah, I agree. There's.
I love Ghostface. Ghostface, my fave.
Yeah. I guess we could start before we jump into all the fun stuff. I already see it in the chat. Ricky said it. Rest in peace to Matthew Perry from Friends. Chandler Bing from Friends.
Wow.
Passing away, the tragic passing at age 54. Very, very young. Very unexpected, but as always, death is unexpected. But yeah, just a sad situation. And yeah.
So many people around the world like big fans of Friends. I've never been a big Friends person. However, one of the first movies that like I remember first rom-coms that I fell in love with, and it had a lot of like interracial relationships intertwined in there, which was Fools Rush In, which is him and Salma Hayek. I love that movie, and that's why he was a baby in that movie. But that movie, I always just go back to that movie. As a little Hispanic girl growing up, I just remember loving that movie immediately. So that's always, every time you say Matthew Perry, my brain doesn't go to Friends. My brain goes to that movie because it's up there in some of my favorite classic rom-coms.
One of my favorite movies, I think, is with Bruce Willis. It's the whole 9 yards, and then they did the whole 10 yards. Those movies were epic. They were fantastic.
I tweeted out the Lonely Island reference because Lazy Sunday. I don't know if you remember Lazy Sunday from Lonely Island, but they referenced movie trivia. What Friends person started a movie with Bruce Willis. It's Matthew Perry, but I tweeted that out because I just thought it was all the Friends tweets, and I was like, listen, I know that Friends has such a huge fan base. I always felt like we were divided between the Friends and the Sex and the City people. I'm a Sex and the City people, okay, but
I grew up with Friends.
Yeah, but I was like, people need to also see that there's other people out there that remember him for other things. Like Matthew Perry did a lot of things, and it's just he has such a sad story, and I'm very curious to see. And I feel like it's gonna take us a while to figure out exactly what happened. I mean, more details are being released. It sounds like he wasn't in the pool or the hot tub long before like the assistant found him. That's one of the things. His last Instagram post is him in that hot tub, which makes it super eerie now. There was no drugs found in his house, just prescription drugs.
Yeah.
They found cigarette patches and gum, so it seems like he was trying to quit smoking. So I don't know where he was in his journey with addiction, but he was so open about his battle, and what he went through. And thoughts and prayers to friends, families, and his humongous fan base. Like I have been loving seeing all the love and the support that has come together from Friends fans all over the world.
Yeah, I think the most remarkable part about Matthew Perry was, and he even said it. There's a quote that he said, basically paraphrasing here, but he said that of course everyone knows him for his role in Friends, and that's really what everybody will remember him for. But he wants to be remembered for helping people, for always being there for people who fought addiction and who wanted to quit drinking and drugs. He gave up his house in Malibu to make it a sober home, a treatment facility. So he's done some remarkable things that I think get shadowed by his role in Friends. And his life's goal was to be known for his kindness, opposed to Chandler Bing from Friends. So I hope that that's what gets spread from here. But on lighter news.
Wonder how much he was affected, and we can move on from that. But like, I remember people had such big expectations from Chandler when they made it his own like sitcom, and it didn't seem to take off. And I also think that had to have affected him a lot.
Yeah. Well, and Dylan just said it in the chat. He really had a problem with his role in Friends because throughout most of that time on that show, he was fighting really for his life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And for him to rewatch, and go back really was a hard thing for him to do, a hard pill for him to swallow in that sense, to be able to, relive that bad time.
Yeah, I just hope that, it seems like they're going to do a toxicology report, which we know is going to take weeks, months. So, we're not going to know a lot about it. It was just sad and very unexpected, very out of nowhere. But you phrased it first in the beginning. Death is unexpected. We never know when it's going to happen and who it's going to happen to. So just make sure to call your loved ones. Make sure you let your people know you love them, and live every day to the max of what you can, right? Not going to say go out there and jump off a parachute every day, but at least try to do something. I like to learn something new every day, even if it's a little fact that I didn't know the day before. I always feel like that's a thing, and not every day we feel good and all that, but live every day to the max of your potential for that day.
Of course, and you could start today by whipping out the coolest costume, the most creative costume you can. You see, Issa's my cat today, my cat Jagger. So everyone can just start today living their fullest life and go out and have some fun with Halloween, because that's what we're here to do today.
Hell yeah. Happy Halloween to everybody in the chat. Samantha, Joseph, Dylan, Ricky. We see all of you guys. Happy Halloween. Thanks for hanging out with us. We have some Halloween-related news for you guys. I try to find the most on theme. So we wanted to talk about Matthew Perry. But for here on out, let's have some Halloween fun, Joey.
Let's have some Halloween fun. I don't have candy today. I am like, you went all above and beyond today with your costume. And I saw someone today in the chat said Issa, has a costume and Joey's just Joey. But if you're just tuning in, guys and girls, ghouls and what did I say before? I don't remember. Look at this shirt.
He's on theme. He is on theme. You guys know Halloween is my favorite holiday. Okay, so there's going to be at least some kind of attempt to be on theme. But I did find it says, okay, I would say cigarette candy is up there for me, but they're hard to find nowadays, like the old school cigarette candy. But another one of my classic favorite Halloween candies, well, it's not Halloween, but I can only find it around Halloween time. Oh my God, I just love Fun Dip so much. And I saw it out when I went to buy a prop for tonight. And I was like, I took like 10 of them. Anyways.
I have a question to ask you, but I also want to ask the chat, and those who are watching, you can, type in your answers as well. We'll talk about it towards the end of the stream. So it gives you time to kind of get your answer ready. But I'm going to throw out the question now. The question is November 1st too soon to start decorating for Christmas? Putting up a tree, doing whatever you're going to do. We're going to talk about that at the end of the show, because we're going to have fun today with Halloween. But towards the end, I want to hear and see your answers. So that's the big question for today's show. Is November 1st too early to start decorating for Christmas? But the first topic on today's show, let's talk about the Kardashians being Kardashians for Halloween. Really doing their thing.
Oh my God. I am sorry, but Kim and North won my entire heart this year.
This makes me so happy, because we've talked about it previously on the Kardashian Corner that we do on our show. We're seeing a different side of Kim. We're seeing the more down-to-earth, reserved, authentic mom that she is, right? We're not seeing the superstar who wears Marilyn Monroe's dress to the Met, right? We're seeing a more down-to-earth Kim. She's doing more things with her kids. She's not as like celebrity-esque as she was.
quiet, reserved. If she's dating, we don't know. It's a refreshing thing from her, and I'm hoping that she's enjoying that privacy too, because she doesn't get that privacy very often. But I do think that focus is starting to shift to the younger Kardashian/Jenners in this case. I think that we see Kylie and Kendall a lot more in the news now than we see the other Kardashians, and I appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, we're talking about her costume here with North. It's not like the wow crazy costumes that we're used to from the Kardashians. You know, if you look at Kourtney, you know, Kourtney's doing her own freaking thing, but we're used to seeing these out of this world costumes from Kim, and this year utilizing the kids and having fun with it and not being extra, you know what I mean? Like just being authentic and having fun with it.
Yeah.
What do you think about it?
I love it. Like I told you, I thought that Kim and North, for those of you guys who don't know, Kim dressed up as Cher. They dressed up as Clueless, her and her daughter. And they looked identical. The picture they posted on Instagram, even with the Jeep in the background, I was like, listen, if I was a multimillionaire, that's how I would do Halloween. Like, I love Halloween. If I had all the money in the world, I would throw the biggest Halloween parties and I would go all out like that. Sometimes I don't even want to dress up because I feel like if you're going to do a costume, you have to do it the right way or don't do it at all, you know? But they dressed up as the girls from Clueless, and as that being one of my favorite movies, I loved it. I appreciate it. Obviously, Stacey Dash being North. I just love that Kim is Stacey North about that. North is gonna be her own star. Like you can already tell. So out of all the costumes that I saw, I like that one, and I also like they have multiple costumes this weekend because I saw the one of
that's a thing now,
Kourtney. The most iconic thing that I saw from the Kardashians this weekend is that Kourtney dressed up as pregnant Kim from the Met Gala. And I died. I'm like, how iconic of a family do you have to be when you can use your own sister as a costume and everybody knows exactly what you're dressed at? We all remember the couch dress with the flowers that Kim wore when she was huge, like 8 months pregnant. Kourtney pulled that off, and I thought that was actually iconic. I also did like Kendall as Marilyn Monroe. I thought it was simple. It was well done. Yeah, those were my top 3 highlights from the Kardashians this weekend.
Yeah, and we see here Kylie and Kendall, they kind of joined forces here with their costumes, doing Sugar and Spice from the Batman Forever movie, 1995. Yeah. Crazy. That's what we're used to. Yeah.
Yeah.
But going back to what you said about Kourtney dressing up as Kim, there is some tea. I don't know if it's related to that. I don't know if you've seen the headline, but there's apparently some drama between Kim and Travis Barker. Did you see that?
Way.
Yeah.
No, why?
That apparently Travis thinks that Kim is stressing Kourtney out while she's pregnant with all like the drama that they have in the show and everything like that. This like sister.
I thought that was filmed like months ago.
No, it came out the last couple of days. I saw it in some headlines that they were talking about that.
Okay.
So do you think that her dressing up as pregnant Kim has anything to do, kind of like throwing shade, do you think? Or do you think it's just kind of...
I don't know. I feel like their whole rivalry is for the show.
The show, right?
I think they're faking it. I think it's scripted. I don't think there's anything going on between them. And I think they're just doing it for the show. Yeah. I mean, if I have a rivalry built for the show that's not getting the same... I don't think the show is being covered like it was when it was on E, especially on the beginning. Even when it was on E towards the last few seasons, it started to like die down. Yeah. So I think that if you're gonna do that, her dressing up as Kim, like it makes perfect sense. Like it's gonna be talked about in this sort of perspective. But I honestly think that they all understand how to, like, the one thing that the Kardashians have always done is keep the attention on themselves.
Yes.
And they're very smart about it, whether it's Kris Jenner behind it all or whatever it is that they have to do. Is to the point that anything that they do now, we see as a PR stunt. I still see people out there thinking that Bad Bunny and Kendall Jenner is a Kris Jenner PR stunt and they're not a real relationship. Like, it's come to the point that their moves, we all think, oh, it's a PR stunt. That's not a legit thing. Because that's how good they are. So I see everything as a PR stunt, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know what to believe anymore. Not even the Kardashians, but like outside in media in general. It's kind of hard to like kind of differentiate like what's real and what's being done as business, we can say in parentheses.
Right.
But I do like the comment that Samantha made a little while ago. She's waiting for Heidi Klum's costume because she always goes out. I mean, Heidi Klum is like the queen of
She's
Halloween.
goals. She's
Yeah.
goals. She's the one person that I told you inspired me. That I know I'm not rich like that, but that's the kind
You
of
will
parties
be.
that I would throw. Like I will like fly you enjoy. Like I will fly my closest friends and I'll be like, no, you have. And the one thing I love about Heidi Klum is supermodel. She didn't always do the pretty costumes. Like she goes all
Yeah.
out with
It's
the
fun.
makeup, the prosthetics. Like she is. And that's when you really wonder, like, if I had the makeup artist, the money, and all of this, like, what would I actually dress up as? Because we all go with the generic costumes now because it's easy to pull off. But imagine having, that's a question for you guys, for you and the chat. If you had unlimited money to throw away, what would you actually dress up as if you could make it happen? Let me know. Because Heidi Klum is the best.
Yeah, I don't know what I would pick as a costume. I can't even pick out a costume like this year. Like I can't, let alone if I had all the money in the world to create something. I
will be Regan from The Exorcist. Hair, blue, like green freaking puke, and somebody will have to figure out a way where it looks like my head is turned around. I know somebody can make it happen.
Now I will tell you this: I'm like cheesy when it comes to that stuff. So like down the road when I do have a family, we're not doing individual costumes. We're doing like joints,
like group
costumes. So like what comes to mind for me, if I had all the money in the world and like down the road I have a family, a wife and kids, we're doing Shrek, Fiona, Donkey, Lord. We're doing it all.
I always wanted. I just don't have enough friends to do an NSYNC.
Or Toy Story. Toy Story would be my ideal. But that's
I need 4 friends and I only have 2, so I can't do NSYNC.
You said bye to everybody else. Is that what happened?
Yeah, I would love to recreate some. NSYNC has some iconic looks in their concerts. Like if you go back and watch some of their concerts, they really have some iconic looks. But no strings attached, NSYNC with the stringies and all that. That would be fun to recreate.
Hey, listen, you don't have to be NSYNC if you're alone. You could do Justin Timberlake because he kind of just,
let's not talk about him. He's canceled now after that Britney book.
Did you see that he was planning a comeback that got ruined by this whole thing?
Mm-hmm.
What comeback?
I don't know. I think that it is the time that some of these people start stepping down and letting, like I just told you with the Kardashians, like the attention is switching to the Jenners now. Yeah. And they're okay with that. Like some of them are okay with that because it's like, okay, like we just talked about Kim turning 40 something yesterday. It's like, how much longer can you like 43. Really keep up with that? Right. But yeah, I don't know that I would do. I will tell you one thing though. After like I started listening to it, I'm not done with it, the Britney book. But it put me in a nostalgia thing where I started looking up some of the old NSYNC concerts, which I still cannot believe those boys did those performances without lip syncing, dancing the entire time. The shape that they had to be in. You don't think about that when you're that young. You're just enjoying the show, right? But I just want to say justice for Jay-Z. The way that the label ignored Jay-Z for, to push the Justin Timberlake solo agenda is ridiculous because I always thought Jay-Z had the better voice. I think Jay-Z could have been huge if they would have put the same machine behind him too.
Yeah, I don't know. I always loved NSYNC, and then I loved them individually, and I never understood like Justin Timberlake. Yeah, Cry Me a River and all his songs were like top tier, but like the other ones never even got a chance.
Well, because they did them dirty. They said they were going to take a break and they were going to come back. And there was 3. Well, they started working on Jay-Z's solo project, but the other 3 were actually turning down projects because they thought, they kept telling them, oh no, in 6 months they're gonna get back together. Then Justin went huge, and they were like, well, he's gonna go on tour, so we gotta wait 6 months more. The hiatus ended up being a 2-year thing, and then on one of their birthday parties, my NSYNC geekness coming right out right now, Justin went up and told them he wasn't coming back. So there was 2 years of 3 of them on waitlisted by them, and then Jay-Z failing when he should have not fail. Like
He didn't
I
have the
don't.
system backing him. That's what happened.
Yeah, and it was like crazy because like listen, I told you I went and revisited all of these things lately, and it was like I think it was like JC was supposed to perform at one of those like big games. That's not the Super Bowl, but he got canceled after the Justin Timberlake Super Bowl scandal. Like it's crazy how poor JC got done. But I listened to him on the Lance Bass podcast because he had him on for the 20th anniversary of No Strings
Yeah.
Attached. I'm so old. And this man is so against doing a solo project. And I was like, he's scarred for life. And we're never going to hear that beautiful voice again because of how dirty they did him. That's sad.
I don't know if you saw this or not, or people in the chat. I don't know if you saw it either. You know how NSYNC had this little comeback this year, a reunion, and they did a song?
Yeah, I cried.
If you go listen to the song and go look at the you know how on either Spotify or Apple Music, we're Apple Music, so we get it. It shows you the name of the song and then the artist. It says NSYNC and Justin Timberlake.
Justin Timberlake.
It's not just NSYNC. It's NSYNC.
You should have seen that though, because when Celebrity the album came out, they heavily promoted Gone. It was written by Justin Timberlake, and Justin was the only one that sang it. The NSYNC did backup vocals, but that was a Justin Timberlake song. And I was like, oh, I remember as a fan, I was much younger, thinking, oh, the Justin push is coming just by seeing that. Because Justin was my favorite at that time. And I remember, like, we would buy the CD the day it came out and listen to the whole thing. I remember listening to Gone, and I was like, this is all Justin. And we were going to the kids in the chat. We used to get these little booklets that you would take out of the CD and scroll through them, and I would read who was writing the song. I realized that he wrote it. So, but what people don't know is a lot of the favorites were actually written by JC. And a song that I always talk about that I feel like somebody, maybe I should do it on my channel, should do a documentary about it, is Digital Get Down. Because Digital Get Down by NSYNC is actually the very first song that talks about getting down on the internet. They were so ahead of their time. This is before OnlyFans, this is before webcams, this is before all of that. Yeah. And I was like, if you really think about it, NSYNC was Skype calls, like none of that existed when that song came out. This guy's talking about doing freaky things over the internet. This is the very first song that really talked about it.
You know who, not to get off the topic of NSYNC, but you know who also deserves a lot of credit, who doesn't get the credit for being more behind the scenes, writing a lot? Kesha. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Kesha writes a lot of songs for different artists today. And even like during her time, she went through this whole battle with the allegations that happened.
Oh my God, that was crazy what happened to her. It's so sad. But yeah, I think people there's a lot of people that write behind the scenes, and like people don't even realize it. And like back to that 20th anniversary, I don't even know how we ended up here, but back to that 20th anniversary podcast that I was telling you about, Lance shares that JC's in the studio every day, writing for other artists, putting together like music. He even does TV commercials and all this, but you don't know what all his you have to like think and like really dig. And it's funny that I bring up those CD booklets because we don't do that now. I actually pay attention if if you have Apple Music and you turn on the lyrics at the end, it says written by, and it tells you exactly who wrote the song. But back in the day, we used to like look at the book, look at who wrote it, look at all of these things. I feel like now we just listen to the songs and we don't even know who's all behind the scenes collaborated in that.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot that we don't really get to see in that sense. Like it's there, but we don't hear or see it because
I worked at Sam Goody. Yeah. And I got that job because obviously I was a big pop culture girl and I listened to English music, and they were in Puerto Rico, but they ran the same way they ran in the States. But I gotta tell you, those years, it was the most fun job to like get to work and have to ask people to move from the door so that you could get in, so you could get the store ready for open, because there was lines of people waiting to buy a CD because that would be the only way that you would listen to the music. Yeah. Same with movie releases, DVDs or video games. Like that was such a fun job. Like people would clap for you when you would get to work because they were like, "Yay, we're gonna get our CD!" You know.
Do you remember when?
No, go ahead.
No, do you remember when you'd walk into those stores and they'd have the headphones that you can like test the music?
Yeah. We had the stands in the back for the PlayStation, the Xbox, like I think it was the Cube, the Nintendo Cube that was out at that time. Like, but Yeah, and the best part was that, for example, for No Strings Attached, I had this job. We got it at the stores 2 days early because we were supposed to play it.
I love that.
Oh
I
my
would've
god! So
died.
I remember
Yeah.
my boss. My boss was like, "I have a surprise for you when you finish your shift." And I opened that day, and I was like, "Okay, I finished. What is it?" And he gave me a shut up, a CD player and a headphone, and he's like, "You can listen to it before anybody else." I screamed. I hugged him. Back then, it
That's
wasn't a thing.
awesome.
Right now it's probably weird if you hug your boss. But I remember screaming, jumping, and he
I miss
just
those
closed
stores.
the break room. They were like, "Just she's having a moment back there. Just let her be."
I really do miss those stores. They don't have them anymore.
Yeah, it
They
was
have
so much
Barnes and
fun.
Noble, but like it's not the same.
Yeah, they closed all of them for your entertainment. I remember because that was our biggest competition. So we're always keeping an eye on what they were doing. But those days are long over, and we had we would decorate for Halloween. Like it was just so much fun. Sorry, I went completely off topic talking about
You're
dressing up
fine.
as
You're
anything.
fine.
But
You're
I got
fine.
I got everybody in the chat is enjoying the nostalgia.
We still have to do our nostalgia show. We've been talking about that forever.
I know, I
Uh,
know.
we'll do it. We'll do it. But keep it on the topic of Halloween today. Let's talk about this topic that you found that you sent me this morning about
Hmm.
celebrities who've had ghost encounters. I think that's pretty freaking cool. If
Let's
you ask
go.
me.
I had the thing open, and you were just talking about ketchup.
Yeah, that was kind of the segue I was going with that into that. Kesha, Vanessa Hudgens, so many celebrities claim they've had encounters with ghosts. Now, before we get on
Okay,
the
but
topic,
Joey Behar is saying that she has sex with ghosts.
okay, well,
Look at she's at number 2 in the um she's number 2, and it says there
that's
that
the
she
lady
has
from The
sex
View,
with ghosts.
right?
Yeah, the old lady from the view.
She said
I'm
she's
gonna
had sex with ghosts and she never got pregnant. I wonder why. Huh.
maybe she was doing a little self-care and felt bad about it, so she just blamed it on a ghost. You know, she's
You know,
watching too much scary movies, bro.
there's some names on here that don't surprise me. Kristen
Okay, like
Stewart, Demi Lovato. Let's see who else on here. Lily
Demi
Collins.
Lovato's on there twice.
Yeah. Kendall Jenner is on there. Gigi Hadid. Uh, Dale Earnhardt Jr. I mean, there's a lot of people on this list. But let me ask you before we even dive into this: is this something that you believe in? I don't even know what the term to use is. Like, have you ever had one? Have you ever had an encounter with a ghost? Two, are you a believer?
Yes, and yes.
Okay. I love watching. There is a tag team duo on YouTube, Sam and Colby. They're the younger generation, but they just posted like a little mini series this week. They stayed in the Conjuring house for a week and they did all this stuff, and it's just like it's crazy. Like
Yeah.
it's crazy. I have an aunt that believes in this stuff, lives for it. Like it's part of her job. She like goes ghost hunting and stuff. She's on like all these like these shows
I
that they
love
do that.
that.
And growing up, we were always like she always like tried to show us things, and we're like, oh, the hell's going on here? But I want to believe it. Like I enjoy Halloween. I enjoy the adrenaline rush from getting scared and doing all these things, and I don't know. I am a fan of it.
You never had any kind of like supernatural encounter or something that you just couldn't explain happen to you?
Not on the top of my head, but I've had like dreams that I felt like people were there when I
And you
went.
never gone to a cemetery late at night?
No,
You
I have.
never played Ouija board?
Yeah. I've done all that, but I've never really had the experience of like, oh my god, this is real. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
More
I
been
see
like
what you're
fun.
saying.
But I guess from seeing what I've seen, I believe it.
Right.
But
Like a lot of these stories are like look at like the original Exorcist. That's based on a true story. As a matter of fact, I just saw there's this guy on YouTube that I watched that goes to like movie sets and all that, and he visited the original house where the original exorcism, like, you know, took place. Like, I think that I do believe in it. I do believe in it. I not only have I gone out of my way to like ghost hunts and seek for these kind of like encounters, but at the same time, I've had encounters that were not, because sometimes I feel like, okay, we're gonna get this group of people, we're gonna go to the cemetery, we're gonna take pictures of orbs and do these things. When you're in that kind of like heightened state, something will happen. You believe that you're like experiencing it, right? Because we all heard it, and it could have been just a freaking bug or something, or a tree wind. Exactly. But I have also have experiences where it's like you're not looking for it, and weird things just happen. Like I have had that too. So that's why I'm like, okay, if I told you I only experienced this supernatural or like ghost encounters at times that I'm just purposely looking for them, then I would question it a little bit, because sometimes we hear what we want to hear or see what we want to see. That's why a lot of these ghost hunting shows don't entice me. I actually like more the ones on YouTube than the were produced for like TV, you know. But I've been in situations where I'm not looking for it, and like things happen that I'm like, there's no other way to explain this. That helped me be a little bit more of a believer.
See, like when I start to think about this stuff, and not to go off topic and not to go into a whole different discussion, but my beliefs for this stuff goes so much deeper, and like I like going down the rabbit hole of these kind of conversations. And I know you do. I love too. That. Like, so surface level, we're like, do you believe in this stuff? I personally believe that our souls, our human body carries our souls, right? So when we pass away, our souls kind of leave our human form, and there's still souls out there. So I believe that. So if I believe that, then I technically believe that there's supernatural things happening out there, because if our souls leave and they're in the universe and, you know, they're there, how could they not be real if you believe that, if that makes sense?
Let's keep the rabbit hole going. What do you think happens? Do you think you go to a different life? Do you think you go to heaven, to hell? What do you think happens to our souls when we die?
I don't know. I think the nice, and not, we're not doing religious talks here, but I think the nice way to think about it is that you go to heaven and it's like this beautiful place, but I'm not sure what it is. You know what I mean?
Do you ever not think that, because I don't know, right? Like, I'm not trying to go on a weird rabbit hole, but don't you ever like meet someone and it just clicks, like you know them from a previous life? Haven't you ever been someone that feels familiar? Haven't you ever like, I really do think that you go on to a new life and a new settings, and I personally think that that's why there's new souls and old souls. I feel like you can be a brand new soul, and this might be your first life, and you could be a soul that's been around for a while. An old soul. Yeah, I think that that's what an old soul is. I think an old soul is a soul that have been through multiple of its lives, and I do think that maybe there is an expiration for all the souls, but I think maybe there's a purpose, and you keep coming back until you fulfill that purpose. I don't know.
Yeah. The idea of deja vu, when you feel it, the definition of it is when your soul remembers something from a previous life but can't actually like pinpoint it. So like your soul remembers it, but your human body form is present. There's a lot of crazy stuff out there. It's a lot of crazy things. I love these talks. If you and I were sitting late at night having some drinks,
oh my god, we will stay up all night. We're not gonna sleep at Royal Rumble weekend. I'm telling you right now, because I can talk about this forever. Like I always tell people, for example, like I feel like I'll give you a very concrete example of it happening to me. I feel like in a previous life, my oldest nephew was my son. That's how connected I feel to this kid, and it doesn't make any sense. Like, but I'm like, I don't know if it's deja vu. But from holding him until now, and he's 25, I still feel like I watched this kid grow up before and all that. And I always tell that. I'm like, I think in a different life, he was mine. And on this one, he came back as my nephew. And I also think that you're going to find some souls. Like, I don't know about soulmate. Yeah. I feel like the term soulmate is not your significant other. I think that a soulmate can be just somebody that your soul matches with, and you continue to find each other throughout the periods of lives of your soul. I think that's what a soulmate is. Like, I call my best friend my soulmate right now. Yeah. I think that people have it all wrong when it comes to what a soulmate actually is.
So my friend that passed away last month, my best friend that passed away last month, we used to say, she used to call me her soul friend. I'm like, what the hell does that mean? And it's not like, so it's a soulmate, but you're not like attracted to that person. It's just like a energy attraction, if that makes sense.
Or a connection.
Connection, yeah. Like you've been, there's something from a previous life or something that's out of your control, above the universe, that connects you. The energy that connects you is so powerful.
Yeah, or when you click with someone immediately, like you know, not to make it about us, but I felt that way when I finally got to hang out with you. When I'm like, I'm kind of antisocial, and I'm very guarded, and it takes me a long time to like let people in. You know how I am because now you know me, and you know that I just don't trust anyone. Yep. But with you, it clicked immediately. And I honestly think all of that has to do with those kind of things, with like you being an old soul, or maybe souls that met in the past. Maybe we're friends in the past. Like, I think in all of that. And I love that this really turned out to be a spooky show, but we barely cover celebrities. We're just talking theories. Like, I just wonder, like, if there's a purpose for a soul and you keep coming back until you fulfill that purpose. But another weird thing that I always felt like it didn't click, but it clicked, was like, I always only made sense in New York City. Like, even here in Puerto Rico, I feel like I don't belong here. I live in the Midwest. I done all this. But when I'm in New York, I always call that the only place I make sense. It just clicked. And New York just doesn't click for everyone. Trust me, New York is for barely anybody. And I just remember moving there, and I was like, this is it. This is
I don't go
here.
I hate it.
Yeah. Well, I remember going there, and this is where I'm meant to be. And I was very successful. I left by choice because of what happened with my mom, you know, here. But even here, where I was born and raised, I feel so out of place. And in New York, it's just like, this is where I belong. So my best friend was like, maybe you were a fool freaking born and raised and died in New York in one of your prior lives, because nobody loves New York.
Yeah.
I so like there's things that I feel that happen to you that if you really think about it deeply, it makes you wonder, have I been here before? Like I felt that way. I was like, I know where I'm going. I know this. I know nobody learns New York in like a week. You know what I mean? And it was, but those are things that I always wonder. Like, I know that I'm an old soul, but I think, you know, there's gotta be reasons, you know. Yeah, Dylan. Everybody loves New York until you live in New York.
Exactly.
Until you're paying $5,000 a month for rent. Until you're freaking soaked in the subway and nothing is working. Like, that's what I mean about it not being for everyone. Everybody loves New York when you go for like a week.
Everybody loves New York from afar. When they don't live there, they love it. It's so beautiful. But then when you get here, you're like, there's trash everywhere. You can't afford the rent. You can't.
Oh, my favorite thing is when your friends visit you and they're like, oh, it stinks, and you're so immune to the smell that you're like, it smells like what? Like, you don't even smell it anymore, and your friends like, New York stinks.
I love seeing those TikToks of people like they're doing like a selfie. They're like, I love New York. It's so beautiful. And all behind them, like all the big trash bags stacked up. Yeah. People are like, we're in New York City. And you hear someone from the background like, shut the hell up. Like,
yeah, everybody loves New York until you see a rat in the subway, or until somebody shows you their dick in the subway. It's happened to me. I mean, like there's like, it's not for everyone, but it's the only place I make sense. It's not about loving it or hating it. I make sense there. And I was like, when my best friend said that, I was like, maybe you're onto something. Maybe I was a full-blown New Yorker in one of my prior lives, because
you definitely seem like a New Yorker. You got the attitude of a New Yorker.
I have the full-blown attitude. That I know. That's why I feel so out of place here, because here everybody's so nice, and I'm still like, why the fuck you being so nice? I'm sorry, why you being so nice to me? You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, what you want from me? Like, that's such a New York attitude. I've always been that way.
No, it's, I don't know. You could tell, like, it's funny. You could tell who, like, someone who has been a New Yorker or who has, like, I don't know. I guess you could just say just been a New Yorker.
Yeah. Especially like Joey still, you have a kind soul though. Like, we'd be hanging out and somebody will say something ridiculous, and Joey does the polite laughs, and then he look at me and I'm looking at him like, come on, that wasn't funny. Get me out of here.
Yeah.
That's why we're Cody and Jay, because he's Joey's still nice. I'm not. Like, people think that I'm just like, the way that I am here, the way that I am on my streams is the way that I am in person. Like, if I think something, I will say it to whoever's face. Like, I don't have a problem with that. And people just don't like. But Joey, he still does the polite laugh even when something's not funny. When I'm like, they're like,
you know. Usually Usually I'm up front, but like in those kind of situations, I'm very much like, I don't want to be the first one to say it.
I'm always the first one to say it. At least, like, I don't say it, but I'm very expressive. So you can just tell by just looking at me how I'm feeling about something. Which is why when we were doing the lines at SummerSlam to get our interviews, Joey would just look at me and laugh because he knew exactly what I was thinking by the look on my face.
I would find you from across the room and just look at you and be like, yeah.
But that's the attitude of a New Yorker I definitely have. But anyway, so back to the ghost encounters. I think that certain things happen to you in life and make you believe on these things or make you like wonder what happens in the afterlife, if there is an afterlife. What I have never been able to like figure out, and maybe it is a late night rabbit hole conversation, is like what happens to the souls, like the lost souls, right? These ghosts that you find. That means they didn't move on to whatever is next. What's keeping them phase. Right? What's keeping them here? Are they trying to get revenge? Are they trying to say goodbye to someone? Are they because sometimes I wonder, I'm like, I hope that I am able to like show the people that I really love if I move on a way, a signal or something to let them know everything's okay and I love you. You know what I mean? So I wonder why these lost souls are still hanging around.
Yeah. I now that you mention it, like I've had things where, for example, when my grandfather passed away, I remember him saying something to my mom about like, when you find like a penny on heads, that's like me, that's like a sign of me. And we constantly still and he passed in like 1999. We constantly find pennies on heads. Like in the most random spots. I'll get out of my car, put my feet down on the ground. I look down, there's a penny on the heads right there. I'm like, what? And same with the Blue Jays or Red Cardinals. I think the same thing for animals, by the way, for pets. The same exact thing. Pets come back in different forms.
That's why I love A Dog's Purpose. I think that when you find,
I never will. Can't do it.
I think there is such thing as a soul dog. Like we're just talking about soulmates. I think you find your soul dog and that dog keeps coming back to you one way or another.
I believe it. But before we get all like mushy and gushy here, I don't want it. We're having fun. It's Halloween. We're ghouling around. You know what I mean? Like we're just having fun. Let's talk about.
It's been like such an unhinged because we're just talking about random things, but these kind of conversations do lead to deeper conversations. Ghosts, costumes. Yeah,
I love it. But let's talk about celebrities who say that they've lived in haunted houses.
They're just doing that to get more money out of them.
Yeah, the first one on the list is Courtney Cox. When you are the leader or one of the leaders of the Scream series, of a Halloween series, I mean, I don't know if you could kind of be in this category. Right?
Right. Agreed.
Britney Spears is on the list. Octavia Spencer.
Okay, but hear me out. Britney Spears, her first Beverly Hills, or was it Hollywood Hills? Her first Hollywood Hill mansions that she ever bought, she went on to sell to Brittany Murphy, who then died in the house, and then her husband also died in the house under the same. You remember this whole thing was like a conspiracy because they died in such weird. That house has to be haunted now.
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure, right? Like she might say she was in a haunted house. I'm giving you the real story of real. Like that house has to be haunted. Like it's crazy that it went from a Britney to a Britney, and then all that stuff went down in there.
Yeah. So I've kind of had an encounter with this. My parents a few years ago bought this old farmhouse. It's like 3 acres, but there's like an old farmhouse there that's livable, but there's just like an old non-operating farm on the property.
Okay.
The guy that they bought it from was in his like late 80s. He used to run the farm with his wife. His wife dropped dead of a heart attack in the yard in the farm many years ago.
Okay.
His grandson, one of the grandsons, passed away in the barn. So 2 people passed away on this property. And I only found out about it after the fact that my parents had purchased it. and me loving like haunted houses and being a fan of all, I was like, oh, this is weird. Never had an experience like this. And we started hearing like ticking in the pipes in the house.
Ooh, yeah.
And it ended up just being an old heating system in New Jersey. But I like to believe that people are still there.
Come on. There's probably people there. You should have done like you should have brought out the Ouija board.
But what I found out, I don't know if you know this or not, but when you purchase a home or you move into a home or an apartment that someone passed away in, they're legally supposed to tell you.
Oh, because of the Amityville house in New York, in Long Island. That's what started the whole real estate. People have to tell you, because I still think that those people did it for fame and money. I don't think that house was as haunted as they made it out to seem, but I think they figured out where they were living, and they figured out they could get a good lawsuit or some kind of settlement for it not being exposed to them. But if you guys ever watched the Amityville movie, the family that moved after all the murders happened, they ended up hearing voices and all that. And that is where the real estate agents have to now dispose of this information to you if you buy a house like that came from.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean,
my favorite thing about this, by the way, is like if you look at the celebrities that live in haunted houses, Matthew McConaughey is on the list. And his story starts with, I wasn't even under the influence. And I feel like every time I'm going to tell a ghost or an alien story, that's how I have to start it. Like my cousins and I don't know if I ever told you this, but my cousins and I, we saw the chupacabra, the little alien thing that was, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Right? We saw it. But nobody in our family believes us because we were out camping at the rainforest and we were drunk.
Yeah.
But I'm like, okay, so maybe we were a little drunk. But how do 5, 6 of us see the same thing drunk?
The same thing.
Thank you.
Yeah. If you look at Ellen's story says, I have seen a ghost. It's weird.
Okay.
Ellen DeGeneres. Miley Cyrus says, I was having really crazy dreams and really scary things. And one night, it sounds like she's like rhyming here.
Yeah.
I was having really scary dreams and really scary things. And one night, my little sister, it sounds crazy to tell you, but she was standing in the shower and all of a sudden I hear her scream. Oh my God.
Yeah. Some of these stories are so that if you read the Megan Fox one, she says her ghost encounter is that she was at her resort in Mexico and she had pre-ordered her breakfast for 7:30 a.m. And at 7 a.m. he heard them pull up with the table and pour the coffee. But then when she went to open the door, there was nothing there. That's not a ghost encounter. They were probably putting the coffee for the room next to you and the people took it. But Megan Fox, that's her ghost encounter. Her 5-star resort ghost.
Demi Lovato kind of got into it too. She said, my house in Texas is so ridiculously haunted. Not by a bad spirit, but by a little girl. I think her name is Emily. I've had a medium come over and ghost hunters, and they both told me the same name, Emily. There have been so many times that I saw her when I was growing up.
That sounds like an imaginary friend. I used to have one.
Yeah, definitely sounds like an imaginary friend. I believe that everyone can. Yeah.
Especially once you name it, it's an imaginary friend.
Yeah. Once you name it, it's real.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jessica Alba's on this list. Lucy Hale.
I'm trying to find some of the best ones, but some of them sound so fake.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a good one. Leah Michelle says that she heard a burst from upstairs. And then she went back up and everything was silent and nothing out of place. So she thought it was all in her head. But then the window flies open again right in front of her. I'm sorry, there's a storm outside. That's not a ghost story. Like the window just flies open. Okay.
Let's see.
I don't know. If I have a ghost, I'm the kind of person that I ask for more. Like a window or a door opening, that doesn't scare me. Like you need to like scare me.
Lucy Hale says her coffee machine turned on at 1 a.m. by itself.
Mine does too. I make so much coffee, it probably sees me and it turns on by itself. Like here comes this bitch again.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I don't see that as like proof. Like I have a ghost in my house. Her name is Emily. Like, why should I believe you? I have trust issues. Why should I
What
do
would
that?
a ghost, and this for you and the people watching, because we have a handful of people in the chat. What would a ghost have to do for you to believe it's a ghost? Because I feel like the windows open, doors open, footsteps. There are certain things that I'm just like, yeah, if you're a ghost, like you're
I need the ghost
you
to
know.
say, "Hey, Joey, I'm a freaking ghost."
Sit down next to you, put the collar around me, like, what up,
Yeah.
Holmes?
Let's have a chat. Let's have a chat, Joe. I'm the ghost.
Joe. Oh my
When
god.
so when people get serious with me, they call me Joe.
Oh, now I know it.
Yeah.
I'm
Like
gonna start doing
Joey's
that.
like the haha, Joey's fun, whatever. My legal name is Joseph. But when people get mad at me, like when my mom would get mad at me, she goes, Joe. And I'm like,
Ooh.
what?
I get the middle name thrown in there when that happens. Like when my mom is be mad at me, she calls me by my full name. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I do believe in the, like, one of the things that I always feel like are very ghostly like are like the sudden changes of temperature in a room. Especially like when we will mess around trying to find ghosts. Huh?
You can have that in a pool too.
Yeah, but no, I'm talking like about Puerto Rico. If we're like, when me and my cousins will like go to these abandoned buildings to try like ghost hunt, it's like 90 degrees outside. There's no way that a sudden burst of like AC, and that's what it will feel like. Like, I do believe the changing temperatures in a room that's very sudden is a sign of a ghost.
Yeah, I don't know. I wish I knew more about this stuff so I can like explore it more. I want to. It sounds like so much fun. Maybe when I come to Puerto Rico, or even maybe when we're together next, we can explore.
Don't make me arrive, and don't make us arrive in Tampa a day or two early just to go like ghost hunting. Because I would. You know what we should do? We should plan a friend's trip to New Orleans. That's one of the most haunted places on earth. And it could be non-wrestling related. We're just gonna meet in New Orleans for 2-3 days. Well, we're gonna get drunk, right? Like, we gotta do that part. But then we go ghost hunting. They have so many ghost hunting experiences in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I am so down for that.
Yeah. Maybe we can get some like a small group together when we're in.
Oh, I did with people, Joe. We're not gonna get anybody else involved.
All right, then just us. Samantha
says, it's like so funny how you kill my vibe real quick. Like, we can get a group of people, and I'm like, you know what, I'm out.
Yeah, I get it though. In the moment, I'm saying it, but when I get there, I'm like, nah.
I sometimes don't realize how antisocial I am until those kind of situations come up when I'm immediately like, no, you have fun. You kids have fun. Let me know how it goes.
Samantha says you need to go to St. Augustine. I used to live in Florida, and we did St. Augustine one year. We went up there. Beautiful in St. Augustine. This old country town. We did the old hospital that's haunted. We did the cemetery. They did this haunted tours.
We have a lot of fun, like especially like in Old San Juan. If you come here, we will have a lot of fun, because even just the fort that everybody talks about, like in Morro, which is a fort that's still built there from like the 1600s. And like they used to use it to protect the island from like the boats. You know how they attacked back then. Yeah. Like, I guarantee you that place has to have so many like fun things to explore. Like, I'm bringing a Ouija board.
I'm game. Sounds fun. I don't know. I'm down for it. Everyone, let's talk about Halloween costumes this year, because
what's trending?
I don't know if it's just me, but I don't think the Halloween costumes that we saw this year were really like the outrageous, like over the top extra ones that we've typically seen.
I saw, and it's the only one that I retweeted. You guys know I'm a big Halloween fan, but the only one that I literally laughed out loud and said is the most original thing I ever seen was a couple that dressed up as the pitcher, Randy Johnson, and the bird that he killed with his pitch. And I was like, that is brilliant. Nobody has ever thought about this. I never seen it before.
Yep.
Bravo. I feel like a lot of the costumes that I saw this year outside of celebrities were just people figuring out like what I did today. Like, what do I have at home that I can put something together because I don't feel like going to a store or spending money.
Everyone was freaking Barbie this year. Like, I don't understand.
Well, yeah, the movie.
Yeah, but like, what? What?
The sad thing is that they were dressing up as Barbie when the movie came out in the summer, so they just reused it. You know what I mean? Oh, Heidi Klum posted, says Dylan. Let me go find
You gotta
out.
look. You gotta look.
Yeah, we gotta go look. He said it's insane. Let me see.
Live on the show, we're doing it.
Oh
Heidi
my
Klum
God.
posted.
Oh my God, that pizza you posted looks amazing. So I just opened Instagram and your pizza popped up. Oh, I want pizza now.
What is it?
Where was that pizza from? I don't know. You posted a pizza and I haven't found Heidi
Oh
yet.
no, I did. I did like a little fall vlog of all the little stuff that I did this season.
I still don't understand what her costume is.
I don't know what it is, and
I
she
mean,
didn't
it
write
looks
anything.
good, but I can't understand what it is. So I feel like people are going out of their way to do these like dark costumes that nobody understands, and I think that takes the fun away from Halloween. Like, I want to know what you are.
Like I saw obviously the Kardashians. I saw Hailey Bieber was kind of decent. She did a few different, like, you know what it is now?
Oh my God, the Scream, the Carmen Electra and Scary Movie, chef kiss.
People are doing like Halloween costumes just for photo shoots. They're not like.
I know. I will say I saw Soraya Page.
I saw that one.
Up as Angelina Jolie, Girl Interrupted. Also, Chef Kiss is really funny because I couldn't go to it because of I had an event to cover, but I was invited to a Halloween party on Saturday, and my costume was gonna be Angelina Jolie in Gia, which is one of my favorite movies that Angelina Jolie has ever done. And I had like the button-up white shirt with the jeans, like, you know how the supermodels used to dress back then. But I actually couldn't make it to that party. But that was gonna be my costume, so it was gonna be Angelina, not Gia, Angelina Jolie in Gia.
I saw a few people go as in like couple costumes as like Bad Bunny and Kendall Jenner.
Yeah.
And those, it's not original. Did you see, like, I keep seeing people dress up as Hailey Bieber and Justin Bieber. Like, Hailey,
I love they did a Flintstones one that I thought was cute. The two of them. Like,
but then if you look at Justin Bieber's, he like went as he went in like a bathing suit. Was it a costume or was it just like you just came from the pool?
We lost Justin Bieber a long time ago. I don't question him anymore. Whatever, let him be happy. He's still young. Maybe we can get him back eventually. But I feel like we lost that kid a long time ago, and I blame everybody on it because he was so young when he became famous.
Scooter Braun. Blames Scooter Braun. I saw a lot of people go as Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, which is not.
That one became boring, and it's like, again, you just buy if you have blonde hair, all you need is a Kansas City Chiefs shirt, and you're set.
Well, I saw a lot of people actually like shave their beards and just keep the mustache for Travis Kelce. And I was like, why are you doing this? So let me tell you my favorite costume that I've seen this year.
Okay.
And you might have seen it already, but if you haven't, look up on Instagram right now, Ed Sheeran. Did you see his costume?
I saw it.
Ed Sheeran did Chucky, and let me tell you, nailed it.
Yeah. Did you see that Chucky quote tweeted him on Twitter and called him a wannabe?
Yeah. I don't know if I can. Can I show it on here? I could show it on here, right?
Yeah, just show your screen. I show you how to do this.
I have it here.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Yeah.
Chucky.
The makeup looks amazing. The hair looks incredible. It's good.
Crazy. See, that's a costume that like you would think, oh, Chucky, everyone does Chucky, but he made it his own. He was creative with it. That's what I like. You can be Barbie, you can be whatever. Make it different though. Put your own spin on it and make it like wow.
I think I'm gonna stick with the Randy Johnson and the Burr couples because I feel like even if you're not a baseball fan, everybody knows that reference in pop culture history. This pitcher killed a bird with a freaking pitch. That's how dangerous. Randy Johnson is one of my favorite pitchers of all time. So I'm a big baseball head. We know that. Also, I retweeted yesterday this girl that's dressed up as Ticketmaster. And she was walking around with a billboard, right? And she would be like, click, any concert you want. And somebody said Bad Bunny, and then the billboard would flip and it would say F you. Like, and because Ticketmaster is such a mess right now. Yeah. So I also pop for that. Like, yeah, I mean, I didn't see a lot of creativity, but there's always a few like that. I told you, Hailey Bieber as the Carmen Electra in Scary Movie,
great.
because we see Drew Barrymore scream all the time, you know, and yeah, there was a couple of things. The Taylor Swifts and I feel like Barbie just feels like so current. I want to like try to like think what are you, but I also don't want to not know what you are either. Like it needs to be like in between of give me that second and then I get it. This is who you're supposed to be. That's what I'm looking for. I also don't need somebody that you're just staring at the picture like I'm like Heidi Klum looks amazing. I still don't know what her costume is.
No, but not to be a more of like the negative side, but I think that this year in particular, there really wasn't much like content to choose from that's like trendy to be for like a Halloween costume, if that makes sense. Like
So
Barbie.
go with the nostalgia. Look at how good, like we were just talking about Kim and Northwest with the Jeep and everything. They did Clueless so well.
I think that this year in particular, like overall, is a really nostalgic year. People are, if you look at the fashion, people are going back towards the 90s and the browns and the dark, colors, like the neutral colors, like very 90s theme. I think that next year is going to be more of like the chrome, like millennium type of vibe.
Yeah.
But right now we're in that 90s nostalgic phase.
You know what? We always bring it back to this. Shout out to Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. They won Halloween last night on Raw.
That was amazing.
Yeah, amazing. Like their Heart Foundation costume, incredible. For wrestling, I love that. Like you get the reference and they freaking nailed it. They won Halloween in the wrestling world for me.
Yeah. So we talked about our favorite costumes and different things like that. Is there one costume in particular that always every year always like stands out to you, like your favorite all-time costume, either like that you've seen or that you've had?
My favorite costume I ever worn, I had two favorites. I did Madonna, like a virgin bride thingy.
Yeah.
And I did Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman, but not the classy version. No. I did Hooker, Julia Roberts. I love that costume too. And like it was fun because that one got recognized. And the Madonna too, you see the boy toy belt and everybody automatically is gonna know who you are. I thought that's what I mean as far as like doing pop culture references, but people will get it. That's what I mean. Like I always love that kind of thing. I'm always a sucker for Madonna costumes because Madonna went through so many eras of iconic fashion choices. Like I see a lot of girls do the pointy bra. That's such a Madonna thing, and you see it and you automatically know who they are. But I mean, every year I kind of have like a different favorite. I don't think there's like a classic go-to. I think a lot of people's creativity comes out this time of the year, and I love that.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I didn't see it this year. I don't know. And I also feel like Halloween came and went so fast this year. Like if you look in the stores, everything's decked out for Christmas.
It was dismissed. I had an issue because I remember like I told you like I got a new bedroom set and that was obviously an expense. So I was like, okay, once I take care of that, I'm gonna go and get my Halloween decorations because I want to go all out. And I went to your typical stores that you go to for this kind of thing. Sorry, call me cheap, but you go to like Marshalls, TJ Maxx, Berlin, like this, because you're going to put it away until next year. It's only going to be out for a couple of weeks. There was barely anything left. And I'm the kind of person that I'm like, if you don't have it the way that I have a picture, then I'm not doing it at all either. Like, I'm not going to half-ass it. You know what I mean?
I didn't even decorate this year.
Yeah, they didn't have like, I wanted certain figures, certain candles. I wanted a throw blanket. Like, I wanted to do my living room all decked out. And they barely had anything because it was like one shelf of it and an entire display of Christmas. And you brought that up in the beginning. I was like, hey, hear me out. I'm not a Christmas person. I get that you're all excited for Christmas, but I literally just texted someone today saying, I'm going to prepare for Halloween next year months in advance like people do for Christmas because this year I waited until October and couldn't get anything.
I went
Costumes, to Home decorations, nothing.
I went to Home Goods with my mom. I remember it was like the end of June, early July, and they were setting up for Halloween then.
That's when I need to start looking then.
Yes, but they started putting out Christmas stuff in like August.
Yeah.
September. So it's like, I don't know. Back to kind of what we were talking about with the costumes. So I went as Ghostface like 4 years in a row as a kid.
Ghostface is the cheapest and best go-to.
But I'm gonna drop some nostalgia on you. I'm gonna show you apparently my best looking costume I've ever had in my entire life.
Okay.
With me, I must have been between 3 and 4, maybe somewhere between that. Well, 1 year my mom dressed me as Baby Hefner, and I had like a little robe on.
Oh, I love that.
But this was iconic Joey Halloween.
Oh my God, you're so cute. Wait, I can't really tell what your costume is.
I was a lion.
Are you the lion from Wizard of Oz?
Yep.
Yeah, I see it. Oh.
My mom was obsessed with the Wizard of Oz, and she made me the lion from the Wizard of Oz. Yeah, that was me.
Is there like, hold on, I forgot the name of that show. Let me Google it real quick.
Yeah,
I remember my mom always used to put me on. She was a cartoon. Hold on. Yeah. Oh God, there it is. The strawberry shortcake.
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't know this, but actually now I have it. But my natural hair color is red, and my entire family was obsessed. Yeah, I'm a redhead. My entire family was obsessed with that, but it's not like the ginger soulless red. It's a pretty red. So
we're strawberry blonde.
Yeah. But the problem is that my family was obsessed with it. So I'll never forget that my mom would put me on strawberry shortcake for like 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
Because they all wanted me to like show off my little red curls. And I was like, leave me alone. That's why I went and dyed my hair dark for so many years. So everybody would leave me alone about it.
So 1 year I got creative. This was maybe 2013 or 2014.
Okay.
This was my costume. Okay. This is when I was in college, and all of my friends were playing Cards Against Humanity was the big thing.
Yeah. You were a card. Oh, okay. I can't see what the card says. Oh no! Oh, that's genius. I love that. I love that.
Yeah, that was a homemade costume back in the day.
That I like. See, that's what I mean. People
creative, though, you know?
Yeah.
Not really Barbie and Ken. Come on.
I posted my Wonder Woman costume today on my Instagram because that was one of my favorite ones that I wore too.
Yeah. I don't know. Just man. And now it's like gloomy outside. Come on. This is supposed to be fun. It's Halloween.
Hot.
I don't know why my camera got so like bright all of a sudden. The ghosts are coming. But no, I think that I've always loved Halloween. It's always been like my favorite time of the year, especially living here where you have the seasonal change and the leaves and you get the spooky vibes. But let me tell you, this is the first year in like 11 years that I didn't travel down to Orlando to go to Halloween Horror Nights.
Man, you know that I had a full VIP invite and I didn't get to make it to it for
Really?
I have a friend that works there that told me, let me know when you're in town. I'll get you in. Like it's not because it's hard to get in. And no, I was given over a full VIP tour and I couldn't make it. So I'm a little sad about that. But you know what? My trip to Orlando was very short and it was a family thing. So I just really didn't have the time to get out there to do touristy things.
This is the first year, I think, since maybe I was a teenager that I didn't go to a haunted house. I didn't even see anything promoted this year.
They had a haunted house here, but it's Puerto Rico. I don't trust that. I feel like if I go in there, they would actually rob me and they just advertise it to like get people. So I'm just going to pass.
Yeah. We're just like destroying Halloween this year. Like, hey, it was horrible.
Or like it's Puerto Rico. Like you hear like a boom, and you don't know if it's a sound effect or if there's an actual shootout. Like you know what? I'm gonna stay home.
Well, you don't know if over here that if people are decorating with like caution tape or something, it's like, is that Halloween?
Yeah, it's a real crime scene.
Like, it was just something going on over here. Like,
yeah. So haunted houses here are not to be trusted, and you don't know when there's like a real shootout happening or no outside. Like. or I'll start fighting the people. Like, I'm not good with haunted houses because I know they're supposed to do their job, but any of them crosses a certain bubble, you're getting clogged. Like, that's just how I function.
So let's get back to the question I asked earlier in the show. And we kind of had the whole show to kind of prepare our answers for. But today is obviously Halloween. Tomorrow's November 1st. Is November 1st too early to start decorating and preparing for Christmas and the holidays?
Yes. I think that I remember growing up, and I think that the tradition of, hey, let's have Thanksgiving dinner, let's go on a food coma for an hour or two, and then let's get up and start decorating the house. I think Thanksgiving night, I love that tradition. That's how I grew up. That's how we did it here. Yeah. In Puerto Rico, like, people are not aware of this, but we have like the longest Christmas season. Like, our Christmas goes on until like mid-January. So I feel like we never prematurely decorate because we also don't take it down until then, because that's when it actually ends for us. We celebrate Three Kings Day. Like, so for me, I love the idea. And my mom's birthday is November 28th. So it always lands around that Thanksgiving time. So I love the idea of decorating either Thanksgiving or on her birthday. Yeah. So that is it for me. However, I think, first of all, November 1st is National Candy Day. You go to the stores and buy it. It's all on sale. Like, that's what you do on November 1st. Yeah. But I feel like I am a late person, like, getting my things. And I don't keep, at least for the tree, I buy a tree that I can throw away. And I don't keep the decorations because I like doing different colors and different things with my tree. But I guarantee you that this week I will start looking at my tree and my tree decoration. So I think it's a good time to start buying it. But I think you put it up Thanksgiving weekend. That's just me. But I don't have anything against the people that decorate early. I don't have any. There's people that keep their tree up all year long. I don't have a problem with that. Like, I am a Halloween freak. And if you let me, I will probably keep the house decorated, all goth and stuff like that. So I'm not going to be against it. But I will put up my tree Thanksgiving weekend.
I don't see a problem with putting up your tree and having it like, you decorate your tree for Halloween. You decorate your tree for like 4th of July, whatever.
I love that. That's a cute idea. Yeah.
Right? Like, decorate it for whatever you want and just utilize it. I mean, I don't do that. But so my mom is a huge Halloween person. She's like 12 o'clock in the morning tonight. It's like New Year's Eve for her. She's like, I'm taking Halloween down. We're putting trees up. She loves Halloween. And I've always grown up with being like that. But I mean, I'm not putting my tree up or anything like that now. I'm waiting at least a little closer to Thanksgiving. Right. But if you think about it also, like, pumpkins, all that stuff is kind of themed for Thanksgiving. So we kind of have until Thanksgiving to do that. But Hallmark Channel, I don't know if you watch the movies on there, already playing Christmas movies. It's already, if you go into the stores, Target,
they're already playing Christmas music.
Christmas music. Everything is Christmas. So it's like you kind of have no choice but to embrace the Christmas, but it kind of forces you in a way to start preparing early and start like decorating early, because seeing it like that, your mind is like, oh crap, it's here, you know?
I'm not a big Christmas person.
We're a very cheesy white American family, and we do like we do a baking day a couple days before Christmas.
Oh, that's adorable.
The whole family, everyone has matching pajamas for Christmas Day. We have shirts, custom shirts for baking day. Everyone gets a task, and we're like baking all the desserts for Christmas. It's a thing. It's a thing in our household.
It grows a little bit more now that I'm back home because I grew up here, but like in the States, I didn't feel big. Last year I felt big. Like, I did the whole making coquito with my mom. Yeah. I feel like this year might be, not to get all like sad story or whatever. I feel like this year will be meaningful because last year my mom was in a state where she was in a lot of pain. We didn't know what was wrong. And to see her, like, what she went through this year and beat it and all that, I'm like, I want to make sure that Christmas, like, feels special this year for her because she can move. She couldn't move. Like, she didn't even want to have people over. And my mom, I'm not big, but my mom is big on Christmas. She didn't want to have people over because she didn't want them to see them like that. So I do want to have a big Christmas celebration at her house. But we still last year did our usual making coquito, listening to Christmas music, making flan, you know. But I want this year to feel special for her because, you know, she had a rough year, and it's just good to see how far she's come in a year. But because for me, as a daughter, it was heartbreaking to see my mom saying, I don't want anybody coming over for Christmas. Like, what? I grew up with a house full every freaking year. What do you mean, you know?
And that's the thing too. Like you mentioned when you opened Instagram before, you saw the little reel that I made. God. I did a whole little vlog of everything I did for like fall this year, because I made it a point that like I want to do everything. If it's cheesy, who's judging? I don't give a damn. I want to carve a pumpkin. I want to bake pumpkin seeds. I want to go to Sleepy Hollow and do all the scary, spooky stuff. I want to, play in the leaves. Like, for me personally, I've experienced major loss this year. So it makes you realize, like, you need to be present. You need to be here now. Like, do things like now, because like you said, last year your mom wasn't in the mood. She wasn't feeling it. This year she is. What if it was reversed?
I love that you bring that up. We were talking about it earlier, like live every day like it was your last, and take those times of the year. Like I would tell you, maybe in the past I was not a big Christmas person because it's cheesy, and I'm not like that. But I feel like this year you go into it with a whole different meaning after you know what we've been through, and I think that it is important to understand and like take that into consideration too. Like those times that are meant to be spent with family and loved ones, like. Take advantage of it, because you don't know when it could be gone.
I encourage everybody, even you, like make a list of like the most cheesiest, and we say cheesy because cheesy is a word you use as like to defend an insecurity. I think a deeper meaning of it. Like, oh, that's cheesy. That. No, you don't. It's not cheesy. To you, it's like embarrassing when people say, "Oh, it's cheesy." Like, you know what I mean? Like you're dismissing it.
I always say I don't ever like to describe things that way because of that. And I even just did it earlier when we were talking about like the Christmas tree or stuff like that. Yeah. The way that I say it is like I always say it's not my cup of tea, but I don't mind the people that do it. Like you're right, because you said, oh, that's cheesy. You're just like picking on the people that might think that having a day where you just like get together with your family and make coquito or baking day, right? Because we all have our different traditions. Exactly. But some people say, oh, that's cheesy. It's not cheesy. It's what we do, and it might not be for you. I feel like there's a big difference between... I'm that way. Like, I feel like everybody should have their own likes, their own beliefs, like, I don't have a problem with how anybody feels about anything. I know what's for me and what's not for me, but I'm not going to judge your way of celebrating a certain thing. Yep. I wouldn't want my life or my traditions to be judged. So who am I to judge yours? I actually have a lot of fun discussing with people, like what you just told me. Yeah. You're like, oh, we're a traditional white family. It's like, I would love to have a conversation on how different your Christmas is from mine.
And to experience it too is like, it. I don't know. It gives me so much joy, like even just talking about that, because like you realize these things as you lose people and as things change and as you get older, and like with your mom going through what she's going through, like it changes your perspective on things.
It does,
like,
in everything.
Need to do everything. Do the most. Take the pictures. Take the videos. Call the people. Do the things. Whatever. Like I don't want to sound like I'm preaching here, but like it changes.
Samantha put in the chat.
I just saw, and I'm so happy to see that she's in remission. That's amazing to hear. And it's
I have a different perspective, and maybe I'm oversharing right now, but I will say this. My mom is a badass, right? My mom was an athlete. My mom grew up like doing sports, never smoked, never drank. She was a correctional officer. Boys were more scared to meet my mom than my dad. Like that's how badass my mom is, right? So I will tell you this. It never crossed my mind losing my mom, because I just see her as so badass, and I'm just like, yeah, she's gonna outlive me and everybody else, right? Yep. Seeing her in the condition that I saw her in the last year completely changed that, and now I just don't take for granted having my mom around, and that's gonna be what's different this year.
Yeah, and it's like you may not be up for it. You're people like, I'm not in the mood. Like I don't look good. No, you look your best right now because you're alive right now. You know what I mean? Like. You can change all the things that bother you. You can change starting right now. Like for me, there's things that used to bother me, like, oh, I'm overweight, or I don't like this, or I don't like that. You can start right now and start to change that, Yeah. These things are not forever. What's forever is if you're no longer here, So do freaking everything. That's why I tell people all the time, and I get so passionate about it. I'm like, take pictures, like who cares? Take the selfie of you and, the Christmas tree in New York City. If you see it the one time you're there, like, who cares what you look like? Who cares?
I'm that way too. It's really funny. My friend the other day told me I was a bad influence. And my other friend was like, no, she's not. Because I had a friend questioning going on a vacation alone, which I'm never against. Go on the freaking vacation alone, right? But the way that it was worked out is like one of our friends was like in the group chat. She was like, no, don't do it. Save the money. And I got in the group chat. I'm like, did you pay your rent, your bills? Like your main bills, are they paid? She's like, yeah, it's paid. I'm like, take the freaking trip. Right? I'm the influential person that's like, what are you going to do with that money if you're not here tomorrow? It's going to go to someone. Yeah, but do you get to enjoy it? So I'm the kind of person that I'm like, if your responsibilities are met, live your life to the fullest.
Everyone's thing is different.
And it's really funny that you said that because one of the girls in the group chat was like, you're a bad influence. And the other one's like, no, she's not. Listen to her. And it's like people have such different mentalities of how everything works out. But I think living life ultimately should be what drives and focuses. I think having money and having material things is nice. Yeah, it could be all gone tomorrow, but you're still here. You know what I mean? And I think that is the best way to end today's show because we got all inspirational.
Yeah.
Didn't think we were gonna get inspirational from the spooky show, but here we are.
We started the show talking about like Matthew Perry passing away and being a little somber, and then getting into all this spooky stuff, and then we like went down a rabbit hole of like spirits and things, and then we talked about Halloween, and now we went to Christmas, and now we're talking about here and being here now. Like, today was I think today is a good show.
I love
this stuff.
And I dressed up as Jasper.
Yes, you did. And I dressed up. Apparently, Joey is just Joey. But my shirt. Let me show you this. If you didn't see it at the beginning of the show, this shirt is it. I
love it. It's so cute.
And if you look at the movies that they're watching, like You've Got Mail.
Oh, like, my girl, the movie My Girl scarred me for life.
They're watching rom-coms, like Chucky in the background. Yeah.
So cute.
Had to do it for Halloween. But not to promote my own stuff, but if you want to see the little vlog that I did, go look at my Instagram. The handle here is @JoeyKarni. That's the same thing for my Instagram as well. I did a little fall vlog where I just recorded everything like I did this year. Leaves falling, the trees changing, going to the pumpkin patch, carving pumpkins. I have this recipe that when I carve the pumpkin, I bake the seeds, brown sugar and cinnamon. Yeah, the whole thing I did. But just do it all, because if not now, when,
Correct.
But Isa, thank you so much for making the show what it is. Because if without you, I'd either be talking to myself or talking to somebody else, and there's nobody I love as much as you, so it wouldn't be the same.
Is it because I'm your cat?
Yeah. That's funny. I honestly I didn't pick up on it until you said it, and I was like, holy crap, that's funny.
Yo, I adore you. It's my favorite holiday, and obviously I feel like we celebrate Halloween different when it falls on a weekday. I feel like the best Halloweens are always the ones that fall on the weekend. I feel like the weekday Halloweens kind of like get dismissed. But I love spending it here with the people in the chat, with you, just talking some. This one went off the rails, but all of our off the rails show always ends up being my favorite. Yes. So I love you guys. As far as me goes, I will see you later. I'm not going to dress up as Joey's cat. We'll have something different for tonight, but I'll be streaming for NXT. So come hang out on my YouTube channel later tonight.
Yes. And if you want a pumpkin style pizza, Papa John's is doing a special for Halloween that it's a thin crust pizza. It's a cheese pizza, and they decorate the rim and they make it look like a jack-o'-lantern with pepperoni.
I love thin crust
pizza. That's the pizza that I posted. But Papa John's should sponsor this show just for that little cheap, And
they do the heart shape on Valentine's. At least they try. They try to stay on theme. I do better with thin crust pizza because I can't really have pizza like it has to be thin. So you might have just inspired my interest in ordering Papa John's. No pizza. Anyways, let's get out of here.
Yeah, let's get out of here. I appreciate you, Isa. Thank you, everybody, for another great show. We needed this show this week. This was a good show. It was fun. Chat was great. And again, Thank you guys, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.